Welcome to something to talk about.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I'm going to talk about one of those A Song of Ice and Fire locations for you, and we're headed over to the Reach. And I'm pretty excited about where we're heading because we're going to Horn Hill. Yeah, the seat of the Tarlys. It's pretty cool. If you don't know what's going on here, click this, read this. I do these in one big long take where it's just like the unbridled nerdum of just a nerd talking at you. And I loosely I try to read the slides, but my brain goes different ways. And yeah, I got the slides to keep me on track, essentially. So yeah, how's it going? I hope my heater isn't too loud because I turned it on, and because it's like the first day that it's actually like cold enough in the state that I live in that we need the heater on. So I hope it's not too loud. It's right on the other side of that wall over there. I'm in the basement. See? All right, let's talk Horn Hill. So I'm gonna do. Yeah, I got nothing. Shut up, me. I have noticed. I do got something. I have noticed that a lot of my location videos are becoming like before the book videos, where characters from said location, I talk about what they were doing. Like it ended up, being that from my Greywater Watch video, kind of. And then my Clegane video was definitely that. So Clegane's Keep. So yeah, that's what they're kind of becoming. And that's what this is going to be. It's kind of like everything that happened to Sam Tarly before the books. But then I also got a little bit of other location stuff and just the history of House Tarly all together. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty fun. Marcher Lords. Horn Hill is the seat of House Tarly in the Reach, located on a horny hill. That's my joke. The castle lies south of Highgarden and 100 leagues northeast of Oldtown, among the thickly wooded foothills of the Red Mountains. The Tarlys are marcher lords of the Dornish Marches. The Dornish Marches, or simply just called the Marches, are an area of southern Westeros in the border region north of Dorne. The Marches are predominantly the southwestern Stormlands and extended east to the Sea of Dorne, although much of the western marches are in the Reach. So you do got the map up here. So think like you see Blackhaven. Blackhaven is considered in the Reaches, and then it kind of goes all the way down. I wouldn't say Three Towers is. So just think kind of both in the Stormlands and in the Reach, just north of the border to Dorne is essentially the Marches, right? Yeah, and where am I? 100 leagues of the Marches consist of grasslands, moors, and plains, with a portion of the Red Mountains to the east. Most of the Dornish Marches are now in the Stormlands, aside from the Tarly lands near Horn Hill. Starpike, the seat of House Peak in the Reach, is also part of the Marches. So yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. And I kind of think of this as kind of where I live when it comes to geography, where there's a lot of forests kind of in the states of the United States of America. That's what I'm looking for. Kind of just right out of Canada, right? Because like North Dakota is very plainsy, and into Minnesota has kind of those like kind of plains, but also a lot of forests. So I don't know. That's kind of how I'm picturing it. But I live in this area, so people like to make connections to the real world, right? The Marcher Lords have probably defended the realm of the Storm Kings and the Kings of the Reach against incursions from Dorne. Many ballads and tales praise the valor and skill at arms of Marcher Lords and their long bowmen. And yeah, being that I don't have a picture anywhere, but you guys can see the sigil of House Tarly here. It is a bowman. So apparently, yeah, Marchers like they're bowmans, and they're also kind of hunters, right? So let's talk about Horn Hill's layout before I get into the history. So Horn Hill has a sept right? Where Samwell Tarly was named in the Light of the Seven, as well as his father, and then Tarlys for 1,000 years. Wow, it's a long time. Have all been named at this sept. They also have a library which Sam has read every single book from. So yeah, like I said, Samwell Tarly, we're going to be talking about a lot about Samwell Tarly. And according to Samwell, Hornhill's walls are less formidable than the walls of Oldtown. We only know that because when he sees Oldtown, he goes, "Oh, our walls aren't as good as that." So yeah, do that with what you will. I'm assuming the walls of Oldtown are pretty formidable. A pond lies below the castle where members of House Tarly learn to swim. The woods around Hornhill are teeming with game, and the Tarlys employ huntsmen and hounds during their hunts to hunt all the game in these woods. Heartsbane is this is the best place to talk about Heartsbane, so I'm just doing it here. I know this has nothing to do with the layout, but yeah. Heartsbane is a two-handed Valyrian steel greatsword of House Tarly. For the last 5 centuries, the sword has been an heirloom of House Tarly, passed down from one lord of Hornhill to the next. So yeah, we haven't been here. So that's why the layout section isn't as big as some of the videos I've done where we've been to the places like Derry or the Whispers. But yeah, so this is all we know really of the forest around it, that it has a pond, it has a sept, and what else? And the library. So yeah, now let's get into the history, right? His story of Hornhill. So this is part 1. So according to legend, so this is the time of legends, the castle was built on Hornhill by the brothers Harlon the Hunter and Herndon the Horn, the twin sons of Garth Greenhand. Yeah, I've covered this before in my shorts videos and some of our live streams about the Reach. If you're a house in the Reach, you have 2 origins, generally, and pretty close, unless you want to count. I guess the Shield Isles have a different origin, but most houses have like 2 origins, and that is you're an old man house, first man house like Tarlys are, and you trace your ancestry back to one of the children of Garth the Greenhand, or you are an Andal adventuring house and you got your house during the 3 Sage Kings who were marrying the Andals in. So for the most part, those are like the 2 main origins of houses from the Reach, and this is a Garth the Greenhand house. So yeah, the twins here, Harlon and Herndon, great name Herndon, Herndon, good old Herndon. The twins built their castle on top of Hornhill, and they took to wife a beautiful woods witch who dwelled there, sharing her favors for 100 years. The brothers did not age as long as they had intercourse with her whenever the moon was full. All right, that's some old godsy stuff. In it, the age of the 100 kingdoms before the Reach was united under the kingdoms of the Reach. The kingdom was the Western Marches, extending from Hornhill all the way to Night Song. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of move by the clear, like, looking through the legend of the 2 twins who banged a woods witch together, jeez, and lived forever. So she dwelled in the hill. Is this like a hollow hill then? Would you think there is a cave underneath Hornhill? Possibly. So was she a child of the forest? Like they live in big caves, like hollowed hills, right? Kind of like where the Brotherhood Without Banners have their headquarters, if you will, which was an old like Weirwood Grove, and then underneath a child of the forest lived there, and there were thrones of Weirwood in there, and then of course Bloodraven's cave. So I do think this woods witch was just a straight up children of the forest. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never heard of intermarrying children of the forest. I have heard that, but banging them when the moon's out, that gives you eternal life. That's probably just some legend crap. I don't think there's any truth to that. That's probably, but I do think, yeah, these guys definitely married either one child of the forest together or two child of the forest, and then it got combined. You guys know, heaping amount of salt for any of these legends, right? So after Aegon and his hot sisters, conquered the Seven Kingdoms, the now King Aegon the First Targaryen visited Hornhill during his reign, so he just made a lot of progressions there. During the Second Dornish War, which was also called just the Vulture King's War, right? After burning Bloodraven, wow, what's he doing here? After burning Blackhaven and slicing off the nose of a Lord Harmon Dondarrion, the Vulture King divided his force in two. Lord Walter Will led one of his armies to Stonehelm, and the Vulture King himself led the other host towards Night Song and Horn Hill. But the outlaw was unable to capture Night Song. Lord Dondarrion, Lady Karen, and Lord Samwell Tarly, not the one you're thinking of, this is Savage Sam Tarly, defeated the Vulture King's army in the bloody battle. The Marcher Lords pursued the rebels during the, quote, Vulture Hunt, and Savage Sam executed the captured Vulture King by tying him naked between two posts and leaving him to die from exposure, and also vultures just eating him. That's really rough, and if you want a video just about that little bit I just talked about, I have two videos on Savage Sam. I suggest you watch the remake. It is much better because I have way more information in it. So yeah, go check that out. History of Hornhill, Part 2. House Tarly hosted King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and Queen Alysanne Targaryen at Hornhill in 54 AC during the Year of the Stranger. So yet another royal progress that stopped at Hornhill. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen made a tour of the Riverlands, the Westerlands, and the Reach in 112 AC, where she's looking for a husband, which included a stop at Hornhill. So another kind of royal progression that stopped at Hornhill. The son of a Lord Tarly unsuccessfully courted Rhaenyra Targaryen before she wed Laenor Valerion. Lord Alan Tarly declared for Rhaenyra during the and the Blacks, Team Black. He went Team Black during the Dance of Dragons. Randyll Tarly's father was unhorsed by Denys Mallister in a tourney. So I'm just flying through the histories, right? I hope you're okay with that. So yeah, they were Team Black, which is weird because so much of the Reach was Team Green. So yeah, not all the Reach, because we know House Beesbury was Team Black as well. Randyll Tarly, the Lord of Hornhill, married Lady Melissa Florent, the eldest daughter of Alistair Florent, Lord of Blackwater Keep. Their firstborn child was Samwell, which we'll be talking about a lot, who's born in 283 AC. They would later have three daughters born within 3 years' time, the second son, Dickon. But we're going to get to all that here in a second. As Lord Mace Tyrell's bannerman, Randyll Tarly fought in a Robert's Rebellion on the side of House Targaryen, and he defeated Robert Baratheon's forces at Ashford Meadow, cutting down Lord Caffran with Heartsbane during the battle. Randyll's liege lord, Lord Mace Tyrell, took credit for the victory, however, and yeah, I'm kind of cutting it there. I do have a Randyll Tarly. Let's talk about the difference that you guys can go watch if you want more on Randyll Tarly. And you're going to get a lot of Randyll here, but this is specifically what's going on with him and Sam. It's going to be a lot of what we're talking about. But yeah, so he did defeat Robert Baratheon in the Robert's Rebellion. And then instead of chasing him and ending it, Mace showed up and he goes, let's just go siege Storm's End. So yeah, and then they feasted. It's nice. Good for you. Samwell's childhood. Whatever pride Randyll Tarly might have felt at Samwell's birth, it vanished as the boy grew up because he grew plump and soft and awkward, and me too. Randyll Tarly, regarded as one of the finest military commanders in the Seven Kingdoms, did everything in his power to raise his son into what he deemed a proper heir. Sam, though, loved to listen to music and make his own songs and wear soft velvets and play in the castle kitchens besides the cooks, drinking in the rich smells as he snitched? Wouldn't it be snatched? Lemon cakes and blueberry tarts. His passions were books and kittens and dancing, and he was clumsy, though. He liked dancing as clumsy as he was. Samwell grew ill at the sight of blood and wept when he would see chickens slaughtered. A dozen men-at-arms failed to toughen him up. So Randyll started bringing in a bunch of men-at-arms to try to toughen the boy up, but it just didn't work. Attempts such as cursings, beatings, canings, and starving him all failed. One man had him sleep in chainmail to make him more martial. That didn't work. Another dressed him in his mother's clothing and paraded him around the Bailey to shame him into valor. Yeah, that definitely wasn't going to work. That's a stupid plan. He only grew fatter and more frightened until Lord Tarly's disappointment turned into anger and loathing. Samwell later will tell Jon Snow, one time, 2 men came to the castle, warlocks from Qarth, with white skin and blue lips. They slaughtered a bull aurochs and made me bathe in his hot blood, but it didn't make me brave, as they promised. I got sick and wrenched. Father had them scourged. Yeah. Scourged? Right, scourged. They eat whipped, right? All right. A talk with his father. When Sam was small, Randyll had tried to teach him how to swim. So I'm kind of going back a little bit to do this one. Teach him how to swim by throwing him into a pond beneath Horn Hill. So this is a pond I talked about earlier. The water had gotten up his nose and in his mouth and in his lungs, and he coughed and wheezed for hours afterwards. After Sir Hyle, as in Hyle Hunt, pulled him out. I have a video on Hyle Hunt, and I love Hyle Hunt, so go check it out. He's a bit of a jerk, but I like him. So yeah. So Hyle actually saved him from drowning. After that, he never dared go in any water deeper than his waist. After Dickon Tarly was born, Lord Randyll ignored Sam. He stopped trying to turn Sam into the man that he perceived, because Randyll's, kind of a D-bag like that. Devoting all of his time to his younger boy, a fierce, robust child, more to his liking. Yeah, Dickon Tarly was definitely more Randyll's style. Samwell spent those years in sweet peace with his music and his books until the morning of his 15th name day, when he had been awakened to find his horse saddled and ready. 3 men-at-arms brought him into a woods near Horn Hill, where his father was skinning a deer. Randyll told Sam, with a long knife laying bare across the carcass of the deer, he spoke. All right, Randyll Tarly, you're almost a man grown now, my heir. You have given me no cause to disown you, but neither will I allow you to inherit the land and title that should be Dickon's. Heartsbane must go to a man strong enough to wield her, and you are not worthy to touch her hilt. So I have decided that you shall this day announce that you wish to take the black. You will forsake all claim to your brother's inheritance and start north before evening fall. Super messed up. Yeah, he's like, dude, you're not good enough to be my son, which is messed up because Sam was fantastic. I love Samwell, but because he's not the man that he wants, not big and muscular, neither am I. He's a coward, so he's like, dude, take the black. And then he keeps going. He goes, the horrible dad continued, if you do not, Then on the morrow we shall have a hunt, and somewhere in these woods your horse will stumble, and you will be thrown from your saddle and die, or so I shall tell your mother. She has a woman's heart and finds it in her to cherish even you, and I have no wish to cause her pain. Please do not imagine that it will truly be that easy. Should you think to defy me, nothing would please me more than to hunt you down like the pig you are. Jesus Christ. So there is your choice. The Night's Watch, and he reached inside the deer and ripped out its heart and held it in his fist, dripping, red and dripping, and says, or this. Horrible. Horrible. Randyll Tarly is definitely not the worst dad in the Song of Ice and Fire lore because Craster exists. But he's up there. He's up there with Tywin, I think. Not as bad as Tywin. But pretty bad. The fact that just because your son doesn't live up to the masculinity that you think that you're going to literally murder him, it's messed up. And say that he would like it. I would like hunting you down because you are too fat to be my son. That's some messed up stuff there, dude. All right. I love my son. My son's a baby, and he's not, I don't know. But no matter how he grows up, I'm going to love him because I'm just a normal guy. That doesn't make me a good dad. That makes me a dad. You're a bad dad, Randyll. I'm just saying. Where was he? Samwell would later tell this story to Jon Snow in a calm, dead voice as if it was something that happened to somebody else, because there's a lot of trauma to it, right? And not to him. Samwell took the black, as you most likely know. So after Samwell leaves, the War of the Five Kings starts. Lord Tarly is among the lords that join the forces of Renly Baratheon beneath Bitterbridge. Renly is at Horn Hill when Lord Tarly... Renly is at Horde Hill with Lord Tarly when he receives Stannis Baratheon's letter concerning the illegitimacy of Queen Cersei's children. So yeah, Randyll's just hanging out, Renly is just hanging out with Lord Tarly at Horn Hill when they get the Cersei's kids are all bastards letter. Randyll is among the lords who do not go over to Stannis after Renly's death at Storm's End. Instead, he joins with the Lannisters. Samwell Tarly intends to send Gilly and the infant wildling prince from Oldtown to live at Horn Hill with his mother, Melissa Florent. As far as I know, that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, there you guys go. Horn Hill. You like it? It's our first stopover in the Reach. We're getting pretty close to covering all one area or one castle in all of the Seven Kingdoms plus Essos, so and Beyond the Wall. So yeah, we're about to move on. Or the wall, not Beyond the Wall. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Click like, subscribe if you guys are new here. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. That's all I got. Peace.